of Heal, Learn and Grow for Purposeful Living, also known as HLG. I am Mirelle, and this is your favorite faith and wellness podcast. Once again, I'm chilling with my boo thing, Tyler, over here, and we're going to get into some good conversation about our relationship as mother and daughter. But also, today's topic of conversation is where to draw the line between parenting and friendship. Because I think it's a very... Say hi, first of all.
Hi, guys. I'm back again.
Yeah, drawing the line between friendship and parenting. I think it's been a tough one for me trying to establish the line and put up those boundaries so that everybody knows their place. Even with, I think it's harder with daughters than it is with sons. I don't know. I don't have a son, but from what I've seen and witnessed, I just think it's a lot harder establishing those boundaries when you have daughters. I could be wrong. Let me know. But yeah, just
stay tuned.
Obviously. Just have a conversation about what are those things that, you know, can come up that where the kids can cross the line and think, okay, mommy's being too friendly now, so I can like overstep the boundaries. And then also the parents, I feel like parents sometimes get a little bit too comfortable with their kids, and then they also don't know like the boundaries of where to draw the line when it comes to their children. So I think based on our relationship, we'll just put some scenarios out there, have a discussion about it, and see. But yeah, so what's your take
on where to draw the line?
I have a scenario. I think the thing for one of the biggest things that we've disagreed about or we've had issues on is the way she speaks, the way you speak. Because sometimes you think you're talking to your friends when you're talking to me. Sometimes she'll raise her voice.
Guilty.
And be like, Chiquita, just bring it down. Bring it down, you know, and not your two, because I'm from the old school and I'm from the school where you'll swallow your teeth. And I think I've said that on a number on a number of occasions, you know, when I grew up, my mother didn't hesitate, or my granny didn't hesitate giving me a backhand when I lost my tone somewhere in what I was saying. So I'm also from that school. But I think I've also learned that violence doesn't solve everything. It solves some things. When it comes to parenting. But yeah, I think that's been my biggest issue when it comes to us and having that boundary in place, is knowing that when you're talking to me, you're talking to your mother. And then there's times where we can like kiki about things. And there's times when I'm serious. And a lot of the times, because we kiki about stuff a lot, when I am trying to have a serious conversation, she forgets. And she'll think, okay, now we're still in kiki mode, you know?
Okay.
And she won't take me seriously, and that like frustrates me. So I think that's one boundary that we've definitely established, where I'm the parent and you the child, when it comes to your tone of voice, when it comes to when it's serious topics and serious things that need to be done, you know that, okay. And I think there's also a certain voice that I have that it's like,
she's being serious.
Okay,
right now.
it's time to
voice. Yeah.
It's time to switch it up, and you know that I have a mommy voice
and a kiki voice.
And yeah, I think that makes it simple for us, because I have like a
tone.
A mommy tone, like I'm in mommy mode now, like serious mommy mode. And then there's a tone when I'm like, okay, you know, we can chill, let our hair down, and we in that vibe. I don't know, is that normal though?
I feel like it is, because it lets me know to some extent that, okay, no, she's being serious. Mom, come on, man. It's vibes. It's okay now. But yes, she does have the serious motherly tone. And then I know. Then it's like okay, Tyler, you need to get up now. You need to fix whatever. Get ready. And then there's that Kiki moments. But I don't think she shouts a lot.
I used to.
She used to for unnecessary things.
I think that was my own trauma that I had to deal with. And I think ever since I started going to therapy, I would say that's toned down a
It
lot.
has. It really
Because
has.
I'm not as I don't shout. I still am. But
Passive
I think my
aggressive.
voice is just naturally
loud.
loud.
Yeah.
So now add screaming on top of that, it's like I've got a mic, you know. But I think I've learned to communicate better
Definitely.
so that you know and that you're able to understand, okay, what time
Yeah.
we are at.
I
you
mean,
know.
I agree with you. Like it has been better because now it feels safer. You know, it doesn't feel like I'm going into war or like I need to make sure everything is spick and span before I come here, or else she's gonna ask 21 questions. It actually feels safer to come and talk to you now about certain things, and yeah, like we getting there to the point where I can tell you everything. But
So we're not there yet.
I don't think we.
But
did.
I also, and that's fine. I've learned to accept that as well, because there again, I feel like there's a line again that needs to be drawn to a certain degree when it comes to the kind of conversations we have, because obviously the way you talk to your friends and the things you talk to your friends about, you're not necessarily gonna come and tell me everything.
Yeah.
And there's just certain things as a mother, I don't want to know, you know.
Certain things, yes, I feel
Certain things.
she'd go into mommy mode immediately. But then other things, yeah, I can be like, yo, mom, you know what happened? Let me tell you. And, you know, do we kiki like that? But then other things, she would actually be like, no, Tyler, you need to check this person, or you need to check that out, or do research about it. And so like, okay, I hear you, you know.
Even the kind of advice, well, I think all advice I give you is always from a mother point of view. I never like advise you as how your friends would advise you, because your friends would advise you from the level that they are at.
Yeah.
So I think every advice that you come to me for, it's always from me
Experience
wanting the best for you, and just being your mom. So yeah, I think that's also another place where we've also learned to establish the boundaries there, that your friends at school are your friends at school, and then at home, yes, we have fun, and yes, it can be lighthearted, but there's time for play. The Bible says there's a time for everything. So yeah, at home also there's a time for play, and there's a time for serious. Where else do you think that parents should, or children, or maybe say parents, where do you think parents should draw the line between I'm my child's friend and I'm my child's mother?
For me, I can't really speak on our relationship because
But just in
like,
general.
I've always known that she's my mother. I've always known that like there's certain things that I can get away with, and there's just things that I would never do, like the way I call, like the things that I call you. Like I'd never call my mother out her name, or call her broski, or certain things that like other kids do. It's just like, hey, not my mother. I know, you know.
The
And
calling out of the names thing, I also feel like that's
it's a boundary.
a boundary.
And I feel like it starts there.
Yeah.
Like when your children can really treat you like a friend, that's how they're going to treat you forever. Like they're always going to see you as a friend and not as a mother. And it's like, you know, I feel like it's room for disrespect and for possible like more things.
When you're calling your mother out of
Her name.
mother, out of
Yeah.
mom, out of mommy. Yeah, I also feel like I suppose it's different for different people, but I also feel like the moment you like cross that line to now, you start calling your mother by her first name.
Yeah. I can't.
Or any other name, like you say broski or bro, hey bro, I will knock your teeth out.
Yeah.
Because Why
not
bro?
my bro.
Exactly.
She's not my bro.
So,
She's not-
yeah, I totally agree with you. They're calling.
That's also another thing. I never call my mother out. I never call my mother by her first name. That's just how I was raised. I can't call my grandmother by her first name because it seems so disrespectful to me, and that's how I was raised. But to hear other people, it's just like,
Strange.
it's like, aren't you, like, you should be scared now, you should be running. And it's like, no, like, she's okay. And it's like, so, and I'm okay with that. Like, I don't mind calling my mother by mom or mommy, because that's how
That's
I know.
how we
That's
know her.
who she is, and that's how I
Exactly.
was raised. But yeah.
What do you think parents do to cross the line with
Friendship.
with their children? Like me coming and hanging out with your friends. I feel like that's a line to be crossed.
That's a huge line.
To not be crossed.
Her friends
That
are
is a
not
boundary
my friends.
because I noticed a lot of
parents
do that, especially nowadays, where it's like it's cool for
Don't get me
parents
wrong.
to sit amongst their friends and be having conversations, and even parents, even children sitting among. I'm again from the old school where when adults are in the room, and then kids shouldn't be engaging in adult conversation. But yeah, I think when parents start feeling that it's comfortable now to chill with the friends, I feel like
I agree.
that's a boundary.
Again, I agree with that. And
That's
that
a
could
boundary.
be because of how I was raised again.
Mhm.
Like when the adults are there, there's no room for kids there because they're not my friends. Her friends are not my friends and my friends are not her friends. And I just feel like parents that do that, no shade, but parents that do that just give me the feeling of I want to be a kid again. And children that want to be by the adults just want to be adults. Like they want to grow up so quickly. And it's just like, relax, like you'll get there. And they act so grown and like they can make all of these decisions. And it's like, damn, like, you're not grown. I'm probably older than you. You're not grown, And I've seen that with a lot of the younger generation, people that are younger than me. They are sitting with adults and it's like, don't you feel uncomfortable? Like, what's going on? Because I wouldn't do that. I would never go and sit in an adult conversation and add my 2 cents there. It's not my
Well,
business.
sometimes you try.
Sometimes
You try.
But she always checks me and she's like, no.
Yeah,
it's
because
not
there's
your
just
place.
certain things that you should never be involved in,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to adult conversations. So there, for me, I definitely feel like, know your space, read the room, and excuse yourself if you need to. If you need to excuse yourself. Yeah, I think that would be. And in terms of boundaries and privacy, how much privacy is too much privacy? Because
With us,
because you also got this thing of I mustn't go in your room, I mustn't do this, and me, I'm like, I pay the bills here, or we pay the bills here, and yes, it's your space. Yes, it's your space, and I respect the fact that it's your space, but you can't tell me don't go in there because it's your space to a certain degree.
so it's not really my space.
To a certain point, it's your space. And when you tell somebody don't do something, you drop like a sense of intrigue now because it's like, why am I not? What you telling me don't do this because of what?
Okay.
And then I want. So what is like the boundary line when it comes to privacy, and how much privacy is too much privacy?
Okay. Let me say, when I tell you don't go into the room, or don't go into my room, it's generally from a point of you're gonna go into my room and you're gonna find things, and then I'm gonna come home and then you're gonna shout at me for those things, and I don't like that.
Well, most of the time the room is untidy.
Because
And
it's
it drives me
it's
up the
either
wall.
I'm really, really busy and I've left it like that because, I just want to go sleep. And then other times it's just like I'm gonna get to it. I just wanna finish certain things before like I clean the whole room.
But tell it, you got this thing of I will do things in my own time.
That's why it's my space.
And for me that is it's very annoying because
It doesn't work for you.
yeah, but if everything else is clean and tidy and then one space is not clean and tidy, it makes everything else unclean and untidy.
That's how you see it.
It's the way it is.
No, that's how you see it.
It's the way it is.
Like, okay, children, let me ask you this. Has your mother ever said, you must clean the room, people are coming? Are they sitting in my room? No. My space is my space. And if my room is untidy, which is like, it's decreased now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gotten better. Okay?
Your untidy room does not go with the aesthetic of the rest of the house.
Imagine.
Because the aesthetic of the rest of the house is clean and neat and tidy.
Like I've said.
So when your room is not clean and neat and tidy, the whole aesthetic of the house is off.
Oh my goodness.
And I understand. I understand that it's your space. I get that. And I try. Now I've gotten to a place like, I just say less. And it's really, really hard.
It is. I can tell.
It's very, very hard to say less.
Point out things that are messy in the room. And for me, it's just that when I'm busy, the room really does get messy. And it could be washing, clothes, books, papers, wrappers, whatever. And for me, I let the room get to that point because when it's actually time for me to clean up, I clean up. Like, I do everything. And it's time consuming. Like, I go through each individual piece and I'm like, no, I don't need this. No, I'm not going to need this. Okay, throw this away. It's a lot. And sometimes I want to rearrange the room. So that's why everything
So it's very hard. So when you're saying to me, okay, don't go in my room.
I just don't want you to go in the room so you don't shout. And you go into the room for like ammunition.
But most of the time when I go into your room, it's not because I'm going to look at I'm going to either look for something.
That I have
something that she has taken, which is another boundary we're going to get to. Either something that she has taken and she hasn't put back, which requires me to now go to her room. And by me going to the room, I'm seeing stuff. Okay. So that's not me.
I understand. I didn't look at
overstepping your boundaries or going against your privacy or whatever the case may be. I'm stepping into something that I didn't plan on, wasn't intentional, but we are here now. And where we are, it's like making me feel some type of way. Okay. And it's not as easy as walking out now and closing the door and just forgetting that I saw that because, like I said, I'm working. I'm working on being silent and I'm working on, especially because she's going through school and I don't want to add too much unnecessary stress to her. But it's not easy. And because I also said to you, I said, don't use school as an excuse to be untidy.
Okay.
And to be messy and to not do what you need to do because that's not an excuse. Life carries on even after matric. And you need to have...
What you just said now actually really did help because I never ever thought I never looked at it from that perspective. I always just thought that you went into my room to look for things and to search. And now for you to like say that, you go into the room and you find one thing, but there's just so many alarms that go off. And it's like, no,
it's like,
why?
Ding, 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 ding.
So that actually really helps.
I'm untidy. I'm messy. I'm out. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I don't I've never snooped in your room. I've never gone through any of your stuff. I've never, because
really?
I've never. I really have never. Okay. Because I didn't like it being done to me when I was your age. Because my mother was a snooper. She liked snooping. And most of the time she would find what she didn't want to find, but she was looking for in the first place. So I didn't like it as well. And I got into a lot of trouble because I left things. Because in my mind, it's just like, it's my stuff. So, like I say, to a certain degree, because you can't bring stuff into the house, that's illegal or dangerous or, and then have the whole family in danger by what you have in your room and then tell me don't search.
Okay.
That's just like another level of don't go near my stuff kind of thing.
Okay.
So like, for example, you can't have a gun in the room
And I tell you.
or drugs in the room. And then I'm like, don't go in my room, because that doesn't just affect you. It affects the whole house, you know. So that's why I say the privacy thing is
it's a tricky one.
It's a tricky one, and it's also us coming to an agreement. And trust also plays a very big and important role, because
She knows that I wouldn't bring a gun or drugs into the house.
I believe that you're that responsible that you wouldn't cross that
What
line.
am I doing with those things?
I'm just saying, trust is very important, and I trust that you wouldn't cross certain lines. So there's no need for me to now go and start scratching all over. But if you did give me reason to,
She would go.
and I was suspicious, best believe I'm going to snoop.
You see, guys, she said it was.
I'm going to snoop. So yeah. And the other thing I mentioned just now was taking my stuff.
Guys, but my mother's stuff is so nice.
That's just a line. I feel like, guys, I don't know how I feel about it.
Best believe it's not even makeup. It's just like nail
I don't know how
files,
I feel about it though.
brushes, clothes.
'Cause I never did it.
glue. And it's just
I didn't do that with my mother's things. So,
that is so nice. It's better when it's hers.
you know what? Now
She's
as I've gotten
accepting.
older, and it started first with Kieran, because Kieran was, and then
Ooh,
you've just...
Kieran was worse.
Kieran was worse, I won't
She
lie.
was.
I won't lie. But you've like picked up where
Certain
Kieran
things.
has left off. So now I'm like, there's nothing that belongs to me anymore in this house. Clothes, shoes,
Not really.
makeup,
I guess it's
accessories.
not makeup though.
Well, Kieran, it was makeup.
Yeah.
Even with makeup with you also, like mascara and stuff like
mascara
that.
and eyeliner.
So basically everything. So for me, it's like, can I just not have something that's my own? Please. Something that just belongs to me, that I don't have to share.
Her husband, maybe. Yeah, your husband. You don't have to-
So that's also another thing where we're trying to navigate to say, okay, I've bought this, I've got this. Can you like respect it enough to... Because also another thing is that they'll take the stuff, and I'm speaking about Kieran as well. They'll take the stuff, use it, not put it back. Like I mentioned, I have to go look for it. I have to shout for it. I have to scream for it because just the other day, can we share the story of the other day?
Okay.
Can we share?
Okay, Mom. Okay.
So I have this cup. Okay? Cup. Cup's been sitting here for months. Every time I want to use the cup came with a lid. It's a beautiful, nice cup that came with a lid. It's for my hot stuff, for my cold stuff. I use it. It's my, wherever I'm going, I have this cup. I went away for a couple of months. Madam decided to use, like she's used all of the others and they've either broken or something happened to them. She decided she's going to use the cup for school. The other day, last week,
Sunday morning.
when we were going to the wall.
It was
No, it was Friday. We were going
Yeah.
to the wall.
Friday.
I had the cup. I said, Tyler, please find the lid for this cup because I wanted to make juice. We were traveling. I need the lid because you want to avoid spillage. Why are you shouting? First of all, I wasn't shouting. Okay. Second of all, I don't know where's the cup. I don't know where's the lid. It's somewhere. Okay, fine. If it's somewhere, please come look for it where you put it. So then I don't have to stress. Come and look for it where you put it. Oh no, I don't know where it is. I think it's lost. So now those are the things that frustrate me because I know that I have a thing. I know that when I'm finished use my thing, I take it and I put it back or put it in a place where I'm going to find it where I need it again. Now, my children don't have that thing. They'll come into my space, take my things, use my things, and not put my things back. And then I must go look for my things. And then when I get frustrated about looking for my things, then I'm the one that's wrong. Then I'm told, don't shout, relax, you're stressing me. So that's like the biggest one of the biggest problems that I have.
Shy.
Especially having daughters, it's like, oh my gosh, Kieran. I think with Kieran, this was our forever fight. Apart from the not listening, because she also had not listening tendencies. But I think with Kieran, it was the thing of taking my stuff and not putting it back. That was really, really, or damaging it, because they'll take stuff, wear it, and then it'll get put back in the cupboard and not washed. And then when I'm looking for it, oh no, he has it here, but it's dirty.
But I wash it. You're talking about Kieran here. Like, I wash
No, I'm talking about you also, because there's many times where I've looked for certain things and
you see, you've looked.
Yeah, and when I found it, it was dirty.
Don't you think that the next day I was going to get to that?
But now when I must be inconvenienced, because when I want it, I can't have it. So now I must wait until you decide to wash it.
Okay, Mom, I hear you.
Do you understand the
Yeah.
frustration in that?
I do. Mom, I get you, but okay, this issue is never going to end.
It's fine, it's never going to end, but we need to come to some kind of boundary or compromise, because at the very least, put the thing back. I think that's my cry. Let's just put it back.
Okay. I will work on that, okay?
Please, work on it soon.
Oh.
Time management. Time
Okay.
management is
I
a
will.
thing. But yeah, I think that's some of the boundaries and the lines that can be
I've
crossed between children and parents. For me, I think the biggest one, which I mentioned at the beginning, is just knowing your place, watching your tone, because respect is very. I don't play with respect.
Yeah, we know.
I think in any parent-child relationship, there's got to be a level of respect. I think once respect is gone or lost, then the relationship is just gonna
Spoil.
It's gonna spoil. And one thing I will say about my kids is that when it comes to respect, it's top notch. Have they lost their way along the way, now and again? Absolutely, but I know that 97% of the time they are always respectful. They know manners. I've taught them to have manners. Am I lying?
You're not. I mean, you've heard this from other people, so it's not a shocker to you.
No, but sometimes y'all do drop the ball, which I suppose
With
is
you.
expected. Yeah, with me. I'm talking about me, which is expected. But it's just about reminding them that,
Just realign
eh.
it.
Just, yeah, don't forget who I am. Just know your place. Yeah, you know, there's a structure of things, and you just need to know your structure. Not in a disrespectful way or a demeaning way, because in as much as I require respect, I also need to learn to give respect to you guys as well, because you guys are deserving of respect. So yeah. Any last words?
No, you've checked me. It's okay.
I've checked you.
You've checked me.
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Okay, glad. I'm glad I checked you. So yeah, guys, it was just our little combo about boundary lines between parents and kids.
How would you advise other parents in forms of giving respect? Because yes, in parents' minds, it's always just, I'm the adult, you respect me, irregardless of how they treat you. So how would you, tell parents that, no, she's pointed out some things that I did, and I had to go back, self-reflect, and do better?
I think you answered that. For me, it was a learning curve. It was communication. It was you guys, first of all, saying to me, calling me out, and saying that I don't feel heard and I don't feel seen. And because you know what, one thing about this generation, they will tell you.
At least you know.
they will tell you about their feelings and where. So what I admire most about you, which also frustrates me sometimes at the same time, is that you're not afraid to say what you feel. So I think the one piece of advice I would give to parents is listen to your children. Watch them, observe them as well, because what I did notice is that you weren't opening up, you weren't free, you didn't feel free. And one thing I didn't like is that you were scared of me. I honestly, because I never wanted my kids to be scared of me, because I was scared of my mother. I mean, right up until into adulthood. My mother just had that thing where I feared anything and everything she would say. And I never wanted my kids to be scared of me. And often they would say, you know what, when they would be going through certain things and, experiencing certain challenges in life. And I would say, why are you not coming to tell me or talk to me? And they would say, no, we're scared to come and talk to you. And that hit me hard. That was a blow for me, because I never wanted to project that same feeling that my mother projected to me onto my kids. So I had to self-reflect. And then also, like I say, you weren't somebody that sat on your mouth. And neither was Kieran, but I think you're more vocal than Kieran in terms of, I don't like how you make me feel. I don't like what you do. I don't like how you talk to me. There's no need for you to shout. And all that was Kieran's thing. There's no need for you to shout. She's the one that brought that to my attention. So I think for parents, it would just be a thing of listen. Listen to your kids, observe them. If they're telling you that you're doing something that's making them feel some type of way, listen to them, give them an ear, and also self-reflect. And it's not easy, especially if you've grown up in a certain way. It's not easy to shift your mind. It's a daily work in progress, but it is possible, because now I definitely know that there's no reason for my children to be scared of me. Am I stern? Do I still stick to things in certain ways and certain protocols, if that's the word? Absolutely. But in terms of being scared of me, I don't think we're there anymore.
No.
Yeah.
How has that helped our relationship?
It's helped our relationship because we're a lot more open. Now, granted, there's still things I feel like you hesitate to come and tell me. But I don't think that's because you're scared of me. I just think that you're scared of the answer that you're going to get. Because sometimes you'll speak to your father and you'll tell your father like certain things that's going on in school and whatnot, and he'll come and tell me, and I'll think to myself, but why didn't you tell me that?
Like what?
Like there was one time you were going through issues with your friends at school, and there was a lot of congalments with her friends. People are not going to know what congalments is. There are a lot of issues with her friends, and she didn't come and tell me. She spoke to her father about it. But I don't think it was a thing of I'm going to intentionally speak to my father about it. I think it was we in the car, we talking, conversation flows. And then he would come tell me about it. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, she told you. But then also I realized that her father doesn't give it to her straight. Her father kind of soothes her feelings and almost enables her in some cases. Whereas if she comes to talk to me about certain things, I can be loving and kind and sweet, but I'm going to tell her the truth.
She's still going to tell me the truth.
And I'm going to tell her sometimes, most of the times, the things that she doesn't want to hear. So, yeah. But I think it's made our relationship, when it comes to me respecting you guys, it's made our relationship a lot easier. It's made it stronger. It's made it more pleasant. It's made it more pleasant because there's not so many barriers and walls that are up.
I fully agree with what you said. Like, we used to be scared of you a lot. Like, we couldn't come and ask my mother for some simple things like food or sweets. It was a problem. It was always, no, you go ask mommy. Or you go ask mommy. But now, I feel so much safer to come and talk to her. I'd rather talk to her than my dad, even though
No.
my dad is the one that soothes my ears. I would rather come and talk to her because it's fun, it's entertaining, and
Yeah, and you'll just find me one big entertainment.
yeah. I do feel safer, and the conversations are more meaningful, and I feel like it has made our relationship very strong, extremely strong, because in a child's mind it's always, no, I'm just gonna move out, I'm never gonna talk to her again. But when you guys break those,
You've had those moments.
yeah.
You have those moments, and like you said,
as a teenager, you feel those emotions, and it's just like, I'm just gonna get done, and I'm never gonna talk to them ever again, because they made you mad or they upset you. But when you've broken down those toxic barriers and you guys communicate so much, like this is like, but I can't leave this one here. No, she has to come.
I still have many more years to make you mad.
Exactly.
Before you become somebody else's problem.
But it has made our relationship stronger.
And I think even
it's helped me also in terms of stress or like problems. It has, it helped me a lot.
I think even when we fight, you're welcome, my child. The fighting is not as intense. And when I say fight, I don't mean like, I think because we've never had like shouting. I've seen like parents and kids fight where like people they and I'm like no.
It hasn't reached that level. I know
it won't even reach that level. But I think even when we disagree or we're having our things, it's not even a thing of, I'll tell you what I'll tell you and I'll leave you to go and
digest all of that.
Because what I'm not going to do is shout at you or discipline you. That's the word. I'm not going to discipline you and then come and then make you feel good about whatever you've done. I'm going to tell you what I tell you. Go and process the information accordingly.
Yeah.
And when you find yourself,
you come back
and you find,
thank you, Mom.
Here we go. And we keep it moving.
And it's not easy. It's really not easy to come to your mother
you sulk
and apologize for how you spoke to her or the way she said something about you. And it hurts. I'm very petty. So when my mother shouts at me, it's like, it can't be. And I go and I stomp my feet and I bang the fridge doors. And it's
which is even another thing I want to.
But
I don't.
After that, I'll digest. And I'm like, no, I can't talk to Daddy. So I come to her and I'm like, Mom, I apologize. And I'm sorry. And it's back to Kiki.
Yeah, but no, it took you also a long time to realize the importance of coming back and saying sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because she also had this little pride thing of,
I don't have to talk to you.
I know, exactly.
And I'll admit, I did have that, I'm not, so what? She's my mother. She's supposed to take care of me. I did have that. But I had to bring myself very down, like too down, like surface ground level. And be like, no, she's still my mother. I still have to give her respect. Because it's taught me to appreciate my parents a lot. Because there's a lot of children that don't have parents, and here I am just disrespecting you. So yes, apologizing was really hard, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, to come back and be like, Mom, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think we both are, because sometimes even me apologize. I remember a couple of weeks ago when I did something, and you were like, "Now apologize. Now apologize."
She just looked at me.
In the moment, I'm like, apologize for what? What am I apologizing for? But then when I went to sit back and I did introspect, it's like, what was I showing you in that moment of not just humbling myself and saying, I'm sorry, because ultimately I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't right either.
So what?
No, I wasn't wrong, but I think the way in which I approached the situation that we were going through. So in other words, my reaction to the situation was wrong.
Okay.
So maybe I could have apologized for my reaction and not having an outburst. But ultimately, I wasn't wrong.
Okay, guys, she wasn't wrong.
I wasn't wrong, but
Yeah.
I'll say it now. I apologize for my reaction.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I apologize for. But yeah,
Those are our little
those are some of the things
knots
that we
worked
are dealing
on.
with. Some of the things we've worked on. I think there's a lot that we can
There's too
talk
many,
about
yeah.
and stuff that we've been through over the years. I wish Kieran was here also because
To get her input,
to get her
because
input. Yeah.
she was the first one, so she got most of
But
it.
I think you, like I say, you've picked up a lot of where Kieran has left off.
Mm-hmm.
So it was me just carrying on. It's like I'm still even carrying on with Kieran, even though it's somebody else.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was interesting, entertaining, insightful, informative. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share
subscribe.
if you would. Leave a comment if you want to.
On some of the parenting styles that you've used.
That you've used, that you're trying.
Yeah.
If this was helpful for you, let me know. And I am looking forward to getting on the couch, getting on the bed,
Slay.
chilling, having conversation with you once again next week. Cheers, guys. I hope you are all good. We love you,
We love you
but the Lord loves you
more.
more.